Thanks for listening to this webinar. My name is Liz Haney, and today we're going to talk about HomeKeeper on the go. So we're going to talk about how Salesforce can let you take your HomeKeeper data on the go. So you can get Salesforce on mobile devices. So that can be iPhone or Android through something called the Salesforce One app. And so I'm just going to record my little intro because we didn't have any attendees for this webinar. So those are tips if folks had called in, but they didn't. And so the agenda for this call is just to let HomeKeeper users know what can you do out of the box. If you just download the Salesforce One app, what are the things you can do? We'll also talk about ways that you can take things further and enhance Salesforce One, but that actually requires some system administration. So we know some HomeKeeper organizations have that resource and other people don't. So first we'll talk about what you can do if you just download the app and start using it. So you can see this agenda. And then at the end, I'll actually open up my training account via mobile, and we'll take a look at what that looks like when you're actually in there and navigating. So the objectives of this training are to let you know what you can do out of the box. And so the screenshot you see here shows you the Salesforce One app on an iPhone. So you can see there's 170 notifications, and so those are probably the reminders associated with the account. But Salesforce One is a mobile app. If you're talking about an iPhone, you can download it from the App Store, and similarly for the Android App Store, you can download it there. Something you should know, and you might hear a lot about, Salesforce has been putting out a lot of announcements about Lightning. Lightning is a new mobile-friendly interface that they're moving their platform to. So basically, the skin of what you see when you move into Salesforce is changing over the next few years, and it's a lot more modern looking. And eventually, when you switch over to Lightning in Salesforce, it'll look really similar to what Salesforce One looks like. So if you become familiar with Salesforce One, you're actually preparing yourself to start using Lightning when you switch over to Lightning. And so one other thing I wanted to mention about Lightning, HomeKeeper is working on becoming Lightning ready, and so system administrators will be able to switch your organization to Lightning, but it requires rewriting Visualforce pages. If you don't know what Visualforce is, Visualforce are the pages that make things easier in HomeKeeper. So if you think about the Enter Applicants thing or the Update Status page, things you click on that pull up multiple fields and isn't just a regular Salesforce layout, we have to convert all of those in order to become mobile ready, and we're looking to do that over the course of the next year. And when we do, we'll be able to be Lightning ready, and our HomeKeeper users can entirely use the Lightning interface. And so just jumping right in, this is a screenshot of if I logged in to Salesforce One. So you would download the app from the App Store. You need to log in. It'll probably send you a verification code. But then once you log in, you'll come to your home screen. And your home screen integrates with your phone calendar, so you can see that my calendar could see that I was attending an all-staff meeting when I took this screenshot. It also will show you what records you've been looking at recently. So if you just updated someone's service file to say they finished an application, it'll show up in your home screen. Also, if you scroll down, you'll see a quick preview of the dashboards that exist in Salesforce. And you can see down below there are some quick actions there, and that's configurable by your system administrator. You can post a chatter, add a new contact, add a new account, and add other quick actions that you might want to take. So going a little further, if you click on the menu on your home screen, so let's draw right here. So if you click on this menu, it's going to open up this menu here, and you'll be able to click on different things. And so you'll see the ones that are going to show up out of the box are chatter, today, dashboards, and tasks, which would look kind of familiar. It'll also show you objects that you've been in recently. So for our HomeKeeper users, that's probably going to be service files. And when you click on one of these, it's going to bring up basically a tab. And so, for example, if you click on the Dashboards tab, it's going to bring up a lot more beautiful charts than you would see out of Salesforce. That's the bonus. They've made the background white, which is a lot cleaner, and the colors are a little more friendly and modern. And so if you're in that Dashboards tab, if the dashboard exists in Salesforce, you can pull it up on your phone. So if you are in a meeting and you want to give someone a view of the demographics of the people in your program, you could pull up the demographics dashboard. Or if you are talking to someone about what kind of properties do you work with, what are the bedroom sizes, you can pull that up. So the example here in the middle is showing us one of the charts on the property dashboard. And so the chart is homes by number of bedrooms. And so that's right there on your phone. And if you click this button, it's going to ask you if you want to refresh the dashboard. And that just means that it's going to go back and query the system. And so if the number of bedrooms has changed since you last refreshed that dashboard, it'll update. So 51 might become 52 if you've added a new house to your portfolio. So here's some more examples of those dashboards. And so, you could create a dashboard specifically to have ready when you're on the go. If there are meetings or campaigns that your organization is conducting regularly, this is a great way to have it available if someone asks you questions. If you bring a tablet and you have a dashboard to say, these are the types of people who are applying to our program. It's totally possible if you get Salesforce One on your phone, and you can say, these are the cities where people are applying to our program from. And maybe that'll help you work with other organizations to talk about them spreading media materials about your program in the right places to the right potential applicant pool. And so some places we think that these dashboards might be really handy to have in your hand are board meetings. If you're doing major donor outreach, if you are in staff meetings, you can pull this up. And you can also see kind of like where are things falling if you build dashboards that talk about your applicant pipeline or your stewardship efforts. You can kind of see if you have dashboards built, you'll be able to see if things are falling through the cracks. And if it's on your phone, it makes it just that much easier to stay on top of where things are at. Another thing that's really great about having Salesforce integrated with your phone is that it means that you can send emails and you can make phone calls directly from Salesforce One. So here you can see a different example. If I was to click on the contacts menu item, it's going to bring up contacts. And I actually have all of my related lists are available there for me to choose. So just like in Salesforce, you have related lists that let you choose, a subset of people. Those same related lists are available in Salesforce One. So if you click on, I think I have a custom list view on contacts for current homeowners. So it's showing me contacts whose client status is current owner. And when it pulls that up, I can see a list of my current owners. And you can see, so this is going to pull up Abby, it's going to pull up Al, and I can click on these phone numbers and I can call them. So if I swipe, I can't remember if it's left or right, but you're going to see a phone icon, an email icon, an activities icon. So you can like add a to-do related to someone. And let me get those lines out. So if you click the email icon, these options will come up. You can copy the email address or you can go right to your mail app. And then in terms of the phone, you can make a phone call, or you can create a log item. Like if you already called someone, you can log a phone call. So rather than keying in a phone number, you can do it right from Salesforce One if you use your mobile device for work. Another thing you can do is you can update a file on the go. So this is an example with the properties object. So this is also kind of helpful. So this properties menu item is basically taking you to the same place, but a little different looking, as the properties tab. So as I mentioned before, this is the list view, and you can actually access that same list view in Salesforce 1. And so I think I might be missing a screenshot, but if you're in Salesforce 1, you can click on a property. So if I click on the Properties tab, it's going to show me recent properties. When I click on that particular property, I'll have the option to edit it. So you can see this selection right here. And I can go in, and if I notice that county is missing, I can do that right from my phone. And you can also add things like monitor events on the go. So if you do drive-by, you could be on the properties object or the service file object and create a monitor event to say drive-by completed, and log that right as you're out in the field. And so one thing we wanted to let folks know about when you're opening records in Salesforce is that if the layouts are too complicated, Salesforce will throw up an error. So if you're super interested in using Salesforce 1 and you get an error with the service file, we have an article in the support forums that'll tell you some fields we suggest taking off of the layout in order to get your page layout to load. So if you are interested in that, check out the article associated with this training in the trainings forum, and it'll show you how to do that. Something else that you can do if you are using Salesforce 1, if you have Chatter enabled, you can collaborate with other coworkers. So you can definitely do this on the desktop, but if you are, have your phone ready, and if you are out in the community, or if you are, out of the office, you can ping your coworkers and have it recorded in Salesforce. So you can see this old chain of conversation where Karen and I were talking about a homeowner that had some issues with like an abandoned vehicle being parked on the lawn that owners are complaining about. And so you can see that there was city intervention here, but maybe I'm at City Hall or working with someone who intervenes in this type of organization, and I would be able to write an update right here and click post, and it would fill right into this chain of conversation between staff. And that would notify both me and Karen, and you can do that right from your phone. So something else you could do, so in this situation, if we wanted to go take a picture of this vehicle that was left on the property, I can actually use my camera roll and I can take a picture. So if you need to document something, or if you just have a really happy photo about a happy family, if you have your mobile device with a camera on it, you can actually take a photo and make it go right into Salesforce 1 as you're moving around. So for example, that came right from Salesforce 1, and I'd be able to upload that to Salesforce. And so we have some articles written in the support forums about getting set up with Salesforce 1. Salesforce has a ton of resources about what you can do with Salesforce 1, and it is practice for getting you mobile ready. And so this is what I mentioned before. So if your service file is too complicated, and out-of-the-box HomeKeepers is very complicated, you might get this error if you try to open a service file. If you remove fields you don't use, and you have to remove quite a few, your service files will be able to load. So you can see if you click on the hyperlink, you should be able to click on the hyperlink, and I'm clicking on the hyperlink. So I will paste that into the chat box. So that link will show you our example page layout that'll get you to see your service files, even if you're using Salesforce Mobile. And that's something we'll be working on when HomeKeeper is mobile ready. We'll have a layout that would show up automatically in Salesforce 1. And so, just as I was just mentioning, our team is going to be working with our developers to convert our existing pages that sort of 90s to Salesforce 1 and a more modern and mobile-friendly layout. But we actually have to do that page by page. So we don't anticipate that'll be done, all at once, but we'll slowly convert our pages so that they're mobile ready and lightning ready. And so what can you do after this training? So if you want to do anything more complicated, which I'll show in a demo in just a second, they can do that. But you can download the app and just start playing around today. So if you go to the App Store and download Salesforce 1 and put in your Salesforce username and password, you'll be able to log in and start playing around. So some recommended things, if you go to dashboards, you have charts about your program at your fingertips that you can show off at different meetings. So that's one of my favorite things. And I'm going to stop sharing and I will start demoing some stuff in Salesforce 1 itself. So you can see here, I'm broadcasting from my mobile device. So if I open up Salesforce 1, you can see that I was already in that. But if you got into Salesforce 1, you would probably log right into your Today screen. So you can see this webinar is on my calendar, and you can see what I've been looking at most recently. So I've been looking at a lot of dashboards, and then the most recent dashboard is one I did for another training, so Northwest CLT Gathering in 2015. But I can also use this menu, and it lets me quickly go to a chatter feed, see what's going on today, see about my tasks, or the objects I've been in most recently. So for HomeKeeper users, that's probably going to be the service file and properties. So let's just take an example and go look at properties. So right here, you can see these are all list views that exist within Salesforce. So these are the ones I've been looking at most recently, but let's go and look at our current and past owners. So it takes a little while to load, but I can see right here there are all these different service files, and so it's giving me the preview with some of the fields from those different service files. But let's say I want to go look at the Contreras family. This is actually opening up their service file. So if I'm on the go and I want to go see where did the Contreras family live before they bought in our program, I could do that right now. And so the service file is pretty big, so it's taking a little while to load. But I'm hoping that this is going to pull right up and we'll be able to see details about their service file. So I just went and fixed some stuff that I was dealing with for the Salesforce 1 app. So one thing you should know, if you ever encounter any errors like blank screens, try restarting your app. So where I am right now, I'm actually in a Monterey event, but let me go back and sort of situate you for where I am. So I went to the Services tab, and then I actually just scrolled down because beneath these related lists, so those are the ones with the sort of line, below there you can see Smith, Lewis, Inquiry. Those are service file names, and those are the ones that I've been in most recently. So if I click on Alana and Lonnie's file, you can see it's going to pull up their details. So I could click on, let's do that. So if I click on Alana, it's actually going to bring me over to her contact record. And you can see up at the top, it shows me she's in the Smith household, and it's got her phone number. Since I'm doing this on a cell phone, I could actually call her from Salesforce. And if I call her, it'll actually let me take notes about the phone call and save that to her contact. I'm going to hit cancel since that's not good for a webinar training. But just so you know, you can click through, and if she had an email address, I would also be able to click this send email. And you can copy the email address, drop it into Gmail, hit mail to go into your mail app, and Salesforce IQ Inbox is something you have to pay for from Salesforce, so you can probably just ignore that. And so if I go back to the service file, you can see I can scroll down and, these are the different sections that are part of the service file. And so it's loading different stuff. If I click on related, this is going to bring me to the related list. So on the service file, the related lists are things like application household members, income sources, assets, debts, funding sources. What's probably most functional is monitoring events. So if I click this blue new button, I could add a new monitoring event on the go. So let's actually do that. And so we will say that we did an inspection. So, and the status, let's say it's resolved, that everything was okay. Like roof looked good. So if you go around and you check that the outside of the home looks like it's not rotting away, or that there's major work that would require demolition, you might log that. And so roof looked good. We can connect it to a property. And yeah, the rest we can leave blank. So I'm going to save this. And you can see that it says records are pending, but it is saving that monitoring event. So I can click on this monitoring event. And yeah, so in different places in Salesforce, you can add attachments. You can't actually here. I think with some finagling, you might be able to like upload a photo to a monitoring event, but I don't have the chatter feed enabled, so I'll just add it to the service file. So I'm going to post. If I do a chatter post and I hit the attachment button, I can take a photo. So Salesforce 1 can access the camera, and I can take a photo, turn that to the roof, and let's say so obviously this is not the most logistically accurate example, but if I was outside and really doing a home inspection, I could take pictures of the house and post them. And so something else I could do in here, I could, we'll see that post there, and maybe I want to let one of my colleagues know about that. You can do this on the go. So like if you're out in the field and you realize something needs to happen, I can tag a colleague, and they will get a notification that I posted something, and then all of a sudden stuff is going on. So I think I have demoed a couple different things, but basically you can navigate. The other thing I should show you is dashboards. So I just showed you how to get to the service files. You can get to properties. You can get to opportunities, accounts. But dashboards are one of the cooler things in Salesforce 1. So let's say you were at City Hall and someone is interrogating you about your program and is like, well, all your homeowners just become renters. You could say, well, no, actually, we've had 16 homeowners who have sold in our program. They've owned for an average of 4.7 years. So you could do that at, depending on how you set that chart up, that might be the stat for those 16 people, or it might be the stat for the 16 people who bought and everybody else in your program who still owns. And so you can talk about the reason why did people sell, and maybe it's because jobs are moving out of your area, or people are having kids, or kids are leaving the house, and so those are the reasons why they sold. You can show that, no, like the majority of our homeowners, they transition to market rate homeownership. And so this is something you can have out, and you can just show off as you'd like. And you can take screenshots on your phone, and it'll look kind of pretty. And you can also talk about where they go. So the point of this is just, if you have built a dashboard in Salesforce that you like, that's compelling, you can have it on your phone to use in your everyday interactions. And let me just highlight a few other things. So kind of what you can do out of the box. If you want to spend some time and effort customizing things, you can definitely take them further. So if I open up Marty Lewis's, so one of the new features that's coming out in HomeKeeper is tracking housing counseling. And so one of the things that happens in housing counseling is that the people would register for classes. And so we set up something called an action. So actions can do all kinds of things. They can pull up subsets of fields, like the most important fields on the service file. You could say, fill out most important fields. That could be an action and show the 3 most important fields on your service files. Or it can create an income source or a debt. So if I click register for group session, we would be able to connect them to the group session, say who registered, and choose the income level and other things related to the class, and save, and it would add them to that class. So you can set up different quick actions that appear at the bottom of your files. And so some of them are global actions, some of them are specific to records. So post is just post on Chatter, but quick one-on-one and quick register, those are things that I built that are specific to certain features in HomeKeeper that you wouldn't see out of the box. But your system administrator might be able to add in fill in resale, and you pull up some details related to resale, or fill in demographics, and all the important demographics just come up. And so you can have lots of those. So you can see here, it's you can post, you can add a task. And then I think, global Salesforce actions are new contact, new opportunity, new case. So those aren't going to be related to this specific service file. So if you have a whiz of a system administrator, they can set up actions that'll make life a little bit easier. And they can also set up fields that appear at the top. So you can see here it just says Marty Lewis and nothing else. If we go over to our contact record, if you remember, so if we look at Alana, you can see it's showing her household and her phone number at the top. So if you want to see those kind of, it's called a compact layout, but things you want to see in the compact layout, your system administrator can set that up on each page layout. And so we don't have that set up right now in our service file layout, but it would be possible for me to add that. And you can see that I am on my phone. And so I think that's a pretty good overview. Obviously, if you have questions, contact HomeKeeper support, but we hope that folks start using Salesforce 1. It'll help you get ready for Lightning, and it will let you edit records on the go, add new records on the go, and pull up your data when you might not have a laptop with you. So stay tuned. We will have more announcements about Lightning coming up soon. And let us know if you run into any issues with Salesforce 1. It can be a little bit buggy, but it's worth it if you get through. So thanks very much, and